Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is October 14th, 2021. This is the SOS show with James Lott Jr. I am James Lott Jr., Zoo Organizer, here on my network, JLJ Media. And I'm glad you could join us today. Thank you, everyone who ever listens to an episode or watches an episode. It is greatly appreciated. I see the numbers, and after 6 years of doing this, I'm very humbled by it. So thank you so much for continuing to find value in what I'm bringing with you. And I get to have people like my guest today that make this very easy for me. That makes me why I continue to do this show. Our industry is very wide and broad, and we have some great people doing great things that are very diverse in our industry. Well, she's about the business of our industry. And you're going to notice over the next couple of months, I'm bringing on people who we're going to talk about the business side of this because I think it's very important. You can make a living doing this. You can be fulfilled doing this. So she's a coach. She coaches people on the business side of this. Metropolitan Organizing is the business. She coaches on personal style or career coaching. And that's why I brought her on. Create, operate, optimize your organizing business, as she says, and I believe her. I just believe her. She is online like I am all the time, doing all kinds of stuff for you, letting you know what's going on out there, and sharing knowledge, which is what I love to do too. And she's my friend, Geralin Thomas. Hi, Geralin.
Hi, handsome. How are you? I am so hyped to be here. I'm not kidding. I've been looking forward to this for a long time.
For a long time. No, we tried this long time coming, and I've been giddy with excitement too. But before we get our talk, I always do my thanks and gratitude. And actually, my thanks and gratitude go to especially this one woman who just passed away about a week and a half ago, Donna Mcmillan. Donna was a legend. Now I use that word lightly, a legend in our organizing business. She was a kick-ass organizer, a kick-ass woman. I had the pleasure of getting to know her the last couple of years. She always was very supportive of me and my business. I had her on this show earlier this year, talking about yet another accomplishment, a book she put out. So she's an author also. So you can check out her books. They're very useful tools if you're an organizer. But she was an amazing person who loved this industry like I did. I do. She did. I can't say, I'm hard for me saying did because she's not here. But she's an amazing woman who I will never forget. And I want to dedicate this to her and to all the women who founded this industry who may not be with us anymore on Earth, but have started a legacy that I could be here, Geralin could be here, many others could be here. I don't take it lightly. You know, I've learned from many of them, and I'm trying to pass on what I know to other people too. So to those ladies, thank you very much for your service and time to us. Thanks and gratitude. Yeah, I couldn't believe she's gone. I was like, she's gone. She was just on my show like 2 months ago. I can't believe it.
Truly a shining star in this industry.
Yes, definitely. Star. Speaking of shining stars, I got to meet this one at the NAPO Texas Regional Conference several years ago. We both were there presenting, I think at the same time.
We were dueling speakers, my friend. Do you remember that? They pitted us against each other. It was like a boxing match.
They did, and everybody kept saying, well, we want to go to both of yours. And I'm like, right. And I want to go to yours. I want to see what you're going to talk about.
You were so nice that I kept saying, don't go see James, come to mine. See?
I think we divided them in half, basically. I think they half came to yours, half came to mine. Yeah. But we hit it off. We met up. We hit it off beautifully. We laughed and talked. Everybody's like, of course they would get along. Like they're two peas in a pod. So, you know.
Do you want it? Can I tell a little secret? What somebody said about us? Okay, let's spill some beans. Let's give some juice. Okay, somebody told me that you and I, if we had a talk show, it would be like two squirrels in a cage, that all that energy just going crazy. And I've loved that expression ever since. And I'm thinking, that would be James and I just having fun, chit-chatting, like both of us. Woo, right?
Exactly. We're both big personalities. We love this business. We have a zest for life. That's why I recognized in you. You have a zest for life. And I was like, another one of me running around because I've always had energy. I don't know, Geralin, I think people I work in Hollywood also. So people try to tell me, when you're a certain age, you got to slow down and head towards the pasture, I guess. I don't know, Geralin. I don't know what they're talking about. I have more energy now than I did when I was in my 20s and 30s.
I'm with you. And I think it's more exciting now because we know so much more and we're both a lot more relaxed about a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, we can be chill and have fun at the same time. It's not, it's not as nerve-wracking as it is when you're younger and just starting your business.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I am way more relaxed about things than I was when I first started out. And that just naturally comes with just living life and just kind of living life and seeing stuff. But I'm in my 50s and I'm like, I'm not slowing down anytime soon. I'm just not.
And I'm a decade ahead of you, I believe. So,
which I would never guess that in a gajillion years.
Well, your check is in the mail, my friend.
Seriously, I would never. I would have never guessed that.
Must be the ring light. Must be the ring light.
Cheesecloth, softening the lens, all that stuff. I told people say, like your picture.
You are in Hollywood. I can tell.
Yeah, I am. I know the chicks in the train. All the chicks in the train from far back. Always shoot, shoot down, not up. I know all this. I know all the stuff.
Oh no, I wore nice shoes for you today. I do want you to know that. Okay, I am dressed up in some fun, pretty shoes. I'm thinking I've got an opportunity with James Lott Jr. Don't blow it. Do not blow it.
Well, I'm telling you, I'm wearing a nice shirt and I slicked my hair back for you. So
you look good. I gotta hand it to you.
Thank you.
But you always look good. I'm watching all your stuff. Like you're in a million things. You got this coffee with your friend. You're doing the organizer thing. You got YouTube reviewing bold, beautiful General Hospital. I'm like, you are the hardest working man in show business.
They say that. I know. And I don't know how I do it all either, girl. I don't know how I do it. I mean, no, actually, this is why I tell people all the time. I'm organized.
Good for you. Yeah.
No, they ask me how I do it. I go, literally, it's because I am organized. I have systems in place.
Yes.
She knows this. Geralin knows this. I have systems that I worked on, that I got in place so that I can actually run efficiently. And isn't that just like, that's the organizing way?
It is the way. And I mean, I've listened to bazillion and one of your stuff, like Robin Reynolds, Dalise.
Yeah.
So interesting to hear everybody's story and journey. I think at some point somebody's going to have to interview you, though. Okay.
I'm here. I'm ready. No, I'm like, am I in touch with me? I'll tell everything. I'll spill it all.
You want to flip the script? You want me to interview you?
Sure. I should. That's a great idea, actually.
Oh my gosh, how fun! How fun would that be?
That's a great idea.
You're kind of like a mystery. When you started down the road with your boy band knowledge, I'm thinking, okay, this guy has got it going. I was impressed. Amazing. Thank you. And then I'm thinking Duran, your friend was like, she learned to dance in public, which I'm thinking, do we need to learn to dance in public versus private? I don't know. Okay, I'm digressing. I'm sorry.
I love it. I love it. No, I love it. That's an idea, Joe. Maybe I have to do that because I'm featured today. Actually, I'm being featured. Black Girls Who Organize as a Black guy who organizes. So they came to me. So
how cool is that?
That's very nice.
How cool is that?
I did. I love the women in this business. I love the women. I mean, I've learned so much from the women in this business, and they've been so kind to me as one of the few guys in it. It's one of those kind of things. It's like, do I have a place in here? I mean, I don't want to ruffle feathers, but they've been also wonderful. And that's the thing about this business. You know this. They're just, people are really kind, and really nice. We've all come to it from other places.
Yes.
But a few industries we didn't grow up being organizers. We kind of came to it, so we're happy to be here. You kind of agree with that assessment?
And think about people like Donna Mcmillan, really, who paved the road for us to make this so much easier. She was such a bright light, inviting, invigorating,
yes,
just rejoicing in everybody's small victories. I mean, she was really one in a million. So
and supportive. You're right, and supportive, saying, yes, you can do it. You're doing great. Yes. You're doing fine. If you need anything from me, let me know. I'm available. She was very invigorating. That's a great word. She was because she was so vivacious. I mean, she was just but she loved this business. And there are a lot of women who love this business and who are really trying to help the community at large.
I agree.
Continue. And I really do believe that. And I want to ask you, so the first thing I want to ask you is, this is a rhetorical question, but I want you to
I should buckle up. I'm putting in my seatbelt.
I want you to answer this because can this be a business for a professional organizer?
Can the business of organizing be a business?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Heck to the yes. I mean, James, I'm 19 years into this.
Wow.
19 years. Yeah.
I'm 12 when I'm 13. 12 when I'm 13.
And 6 years you're podcasting. I listened to your podcast, so I heard that on International Podcast Day. So congratulations to you.
Thank you. No, but that 19 years, that's amazing. That's great.
Yeah. And it's all about being able to go with the flow, shift, pivot, change a little bit. And then, I know I really enjoyed your interview with Robin Reynolds, who talked about how she shifted during the pandemic and what changed. And I mean, it was really a nice episode. And I think that's the name of the game. You have to remain fluid, open-minded, embrace things that come along. You can't just dig your feet in the ground and say, this is it, I'm throwing in the unless you're not in love with the industry and passionate about what you're doing. But let me tell you something. Nobody has more fun with her clients than Geralin Thomas. Okay.
I believe it. I believe it. No, seriously, I mean, I think it's one of those things where we all got a calling to do this. And I think some people are afraid to make it into a business. They like it. They're in it kind of. They have other stuff going on, but they're kind of in it. And I want to tell them, like, no, you can actually make this into a full-time business. And people go to Geralin, she'll help you with that. You go check out her website and check her out. I mean, but I'm saying that it can be a business.
It can be, and I'm not the only one. There's zillions. I'm a professional organizer, right? And there's lots of good resources. But one of the other things that I think is so important to put out there is, if you want this as I know a lot of people, this term rubs them the wrong way, but if you want this as a side hustle, it can be a side hustle. You can earn money, you can buy clothes, you can do whatever you want with the money. It's make it what you want it. It's like life. You have to throw into it what you want to get out of it, and then hopefully, keep it coming back to you. And I love your gratitude, in the beginning of each show. That's part of it. Stopping, pausing, being thankful for what you have, and assessing like where you want to go and what you want to do with it.
Yeah, that's true. You can't make it what you need it to be. But I think, again, some folks don't know where to start, or some folks are in it and they're kind of floundering. That's why this show is good, because this is for newbies, veterans who may have some questions. And one of the questions I want to ask you, I want to kind of start this direction and then maybe go back. What are some missteps that you see happen in terms of trying to make this a business?
Ooh, how much time do we have?
I know a few. I made a few back in the day. So I know you. Yeah.
To err is really part of the growing process, right? That's how we learn. And there's no shame. That's what I want. I want to destigmatize all the, like, we've all been there and done ridiculous things, and then look back and think, what was I thinking?
Yes.
But that's one of the things I love about what I do with coaching or teaching, right? I can say, here's what I've done. And I use somebody like maybe Standalyn Robertson's book, Managing Expectations. Regina Lark. I saw you were at her book opening.
My girl Regina. Yes, I do.
Oh my gosh. The book is okay. Well, I digress. Anyway,
I know.
Back to topic.
She's amazing.
I think two things that are different now than when I started, and maybe even when you started, is now I want to tell everybody, I'd like to scream it from the rooftops: build your own platform, build your own platform, build your own platform, invest in yourself. Now, it's so tempting. I was just working with somebody. She was, not kidding, in tears, crying that her Instagram wasn't kicking it up on fire. And I'm like, look, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, it's all wonderful. We feel the feels, we get all emo, but girl, head back to your own website, start creating content for your blog, push your blog posts out to these social media sites, then worry about all the willy-nilly stuff on your social media. So that would be number one: build your own platform, invest in yourself.
Agree.
And number two thing that I think, unfortunately, I'm seeing some not great things happening right now. And I'm trying to tell anybody I coach, I put it in my newsletters 50 times, but be careful with the photos you're using, right? We all want these feeds where we're using stylized photos. Now, for some people, that's going to put them off, because let's face it, a lot of us don't live in these beautiful, giant houses where everything looks great. All your bath towels match, everything's pretty.
Yeah.
But don't be scared to be real and show who you are. And you've always done this online. I mean, I love your coffee with your friend. You're like letting it all hang out.
I do. I'm me. I am totally me. So yes.
It's being authentic and being genuine and keeping a professional persona is a good thing. But these feeds where you're just buying photos and it's not ever your work, I caution people against it. And just because it's on a site that says it's free to take, unless you're paying, you could be. I'm dealing with a few people right now that are in some yucky situations. They're being sued for using photos.
No, it's funny you said it. I know someone who tells me, I won't say a name or anything, but told me, well, I can make it look like that picture.
I know.
So I'm not really lying or anything. I said, nothing about lying. It's just that it's not you.
Right.
Like, I'd rather have a client go, can I take a picture of the kitchen we just did together before and after? You won't be in any of them. I won't show the kind. And they go, yes, James, no problem. We sign a thing. It's all good. And I post them, and it's my work.
Yep.
It's my work.
Right. And it's a real house that you're really working in. And I don't have a problem with occasionally throwing in a beautiful photo.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah. And especially coaching, it's super hard to get coaching photos. Like, what are you going to show? I'm not even on the gram anymore. I'm rarely on Facebook. I love to, my thing with social media right now is I do love me some YouTube. Cannot pull away.
Yes.
But I think of LinkedIn is behave as you're in a boardroom, and Twitter behave like you're in the break room. So I can gossip and chit chat and have fun with my colleagues on Twitter or whomever. Yeah. And then on LinkedIn, you do want to kind of kick it up a notch, right? You want to be.
Yeah, no, I'll tell you something. LinkedIn, I had joined it years ago, and my assumption was it was a job searching site, possibly. You're trying to look for jobs, but then it has morphed. And a lot of my friends in Hollywood are using it more too. You're on there a lot. I'm on there a lot. And you're right. I have found my way on LinkedIn. I tell everybody, go to LinkedIn, go to LinkedIn, go to LinkedIn. I'm just singing its praises.
Right. And for any new organizers listening, you'll hear coaches with different opinions, but here's my 2 cents. If you want to establish you're legit, LinkedIn is the place to do that, because we can look and see who you're associating with, who you're connected with. I can call somebody or email or text them or whatever and say, hey, I see you're chit-chatting online and LinkedIn with James Lott. Like, what's his story? And they can say, I know him really well. I don't know him at all. I went to a presentation. I follow him. We can get a little more insider info. And that's what I love about LinkedIn. And let's face it, there are some awesome people sharing stuff, and LinkedIn's education is hard to beat.
I agree. No, I totally agree. And I'm so glad I found my way on there. And that was the thing. I was like, because I'm not afraid of social media. I mean, when we started, there was only, when I started, it was only Facebook. I mean, I think MySpace was dying out. There was there was no Twitter when I started. There was no Instagram. Nope. It was literally, I think MySpace was dying out. Facebook was just starting. For me, it was 2008, whatever. It was just starting, and that was it. It was, ads in newspapers. I was doing other Craigslist.
How about this one? You want to thank Yellow Pages?
What are those? I don't know what that is. Yellow and white pages. What's that? I'm like, I don't know what that is anymore. Yep. I knew somebody worked at Yellow Pages, actually.
Really? Selling ad space?
Yeah, they're not there anymore.
We've come a long way.
Yeah, but seriously, I mean, we had to do, like I said, newspaper, local magazine, get a quarter page ad or a blurb. Or it was like you had to figure it out how to get your business out there. I have postcards done, Vistaprint. I got 500 postcards done. I walked the streets of Los Angeles.
I am right there with you. I had mega big postcards.
Yes.
Oh my God. And then the stamps. I mean, the whole thing is
so right, remember? Yes.
Yeah, I do remember. I
had friends come over and say, we're gonna do a stamp party. And I had them have to, because I was like, I can't do it all myself. I got a whole bunch. I mean, it was crazy. But it was
of course you turned it into a production. Of course.
Of course.
I love it. I love it.
Junior, of course. Yeah. We had a good time. I had pizza. We had a good time. But it's one of those things. But I'm saying that nowadays it's a little easier, but also harder, because you said, where do you want to go? What's going to be best for you? And you also mentioned something that's very, very prevalent with my colleagues. I only have 5 likes on this picture, not 20 like you did. Like, and you're right. I tell people all the time, create the world you want. They will come to you. You have to build from somewhere. We all started from zero, right, Geralin? You started from zero.
Zero. Yes.
Zero.
Yes. Absolutely.
Everybody's pace is different, and there's a lot of choice out there. So just be. I said, well, my advice is just be busy trying to be unique and authentic. And when you're posting things and when you're interacting with people, people will come around and go, oh, she's interesting. Oh, I see her all the time. Frequency is another thing. Let me check out that video. I mean, she's on here every day with a video. I don't know what she's talking about, but let me press it. Oh, that's Geralin Thomas. Okay, I got it. I mean, but you know what I mean? It's like, instead of worrying about what other people are doing, you gotta stay in your lane. Stay in your lane.
Yes. And it kind of, I mean, in the beginning, it is so tempting to just look around and think, well, you can beat yourself up. You can look around and think, she's doing this, he's doing that. I should do this, I should do that. But, you know, with age comes a teeny bit of wisdom. Put your blinders on, keep your head down, and just you do you, and people will find you, and they'll align, you know, birds of a feather flock together. That's the old thing.
Yeah, no, I do that. I totally agree with that. One of the coaching things you talk about, of course, is marketing, which we're talking a little bit about right now on here.
Yeah.
Website, social media, LinkedIn stuff. Do you feel that organizers, just in general, that you're seeing, because I feel like we're not doing enough marketing. I feel like we need to do more. We are an industry that everyone can use. I can think of another industry that from 2 years old to 92, from business to personal, whatever, we cover it all. So I feel like we do, as an industry in general, I feel like we need to do more. I mean, what are your feelings on just general marketing of our industry?
I think marketing historically has some cheesy things associated with it, right? So there's that. I think in our industry, several people don't understand what marketing means. I hear people in our industry, at least, all the time confuse marketing, branding, sales, advertising, PR. It's just all lumped together for them, but they're very distinct things. And I think part of like the baseline education is just realizing how different those things are and how to use them. So here's an example. I have a couple YouTube videos. I did a whole series, marketing, branding, blah, 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 PR. Sales is always the least clicked on. But without sales, it's not the fun thing, right? Without sales, if you don't know how to sell what you're doing for a living, it is what replenishes your bank account and keeps it moving. Right. So I think we need to educate people a little bit more about that. And it's not sleazy and cheesy to market. And there's a million ways to do it. And I think you're like genius to be 6 years into podcasting, because I personally think, you know, people who have podcasts and get interviewed on podcasts and are fortunate enough, thank you very much for having me on your podcast, you get a moment in the sun. You get the spotlight shined on you. And there's the host being so gracious and saying, I'm going to ask you a few questions, but really this is like your time to ramble on and have fun and be who you are. People get to know you. So lots of ways to market. And when people say they hate marketing, I'm convinced they haven't found the right vehicle for marketing.
You're onto something. I think this is something that I've observed. You want to make money. When I say you, entrepreneur,
everyone, yeah, business owner.
But then you get afraid to talk about money or how to get somewhere to make money. That's why. So I think sales is like so funny. It's like sales is this nasty word for some people. You basically just said that, right? So it's like, and that's so it's like, but then you don't want to. I mean, but you want to make money, and you're wondering why you're not making money. But you have to go out there at some point and put yourself out there. It's a circle that I see all the time. I don't know what the answer is for everybody else, but I see the circle all the time. I'm sure you see it.
Here's what I tell people that I'm coaching. Sales is my favorite 4-letter word.
Oh, funny. I like that.
Because I'm not shy. I'm not embarrassed to say, for me, it is the bottom line. it's what matters. And without sales, you cannot continue to be in business. It's one thing and then the other, right? It's part of the equation. It's part of the marriage of business. Sales matter. So
yeah, you can market, you can have great ads, you can have great, you can do it. But if you're not trying to get people in, you're not out there trying. I mean, it just falls flat.
right, right. And even things, one of the things that I coach people on is like scaling their business. And I'm not the right coach if you want to go super big, if you want to franchise, I refer that out. That's not my jam. But if you want to do subcontractors and teams and you're in a state where that's legal, I know in some places, I think you can't do subcontractors or independent contractors. One of the things I'll say is you best put independent contractors in place who can sell, because they're the front face of your business, right? And if they want to jam for you and earn money and you want to put them out there, it's like a very nice little organic relationship you two have to have. Without that, your business isn't going to continue earning. So it's a way to grow your business, but you also have to really hammer sales nonstop and think constantly. Instead of here's just a little crazy example in case somebody new is listening. You talk about looking back on mistakes we made early in the industry. I remember, when I started using Teams, I was thinking I will bill X number of dollars on her head, his head, her head, her. And then I took a class and I felt like such a moron. I thought, oh my gosh, of course. The person teaching the class was a CPA, and I was talking to her afterwards, and she said, instead of thinking, X number of dollars and then your X number of dollars, she's like, think percentage. Subcontractor A is going to earn 30%, on your, and I thought, oh, of course, percentages. But I personally didn't have a business background. So I've never owned a business before, and I never worked corporate America before. So everything I learned, I felt like I was like sticking the shovel in and digging up a whole bunch of stuff for me.
Yeah, well, I worked corporate, so I lucked out. So I put a lot of things into place. I always thought,
you worked financial corporate, didn't you?
I did. I worked at Seventeen Winter. I worked for a big guy in California. No, I actually worked corporates.
Right.
My soul died, but I was fine. I got it back. Just kidding, you guys. I love you guys all. I love you guys. I left on good terms on all of them.
Yeah.
But no, that's the thing, is that I always thought entrepreneurship was this really esoteric thing that that's for hippies and whatever. I don't know, people who just wake up and are creatives. I'm a creative also, but it was kind of like, I just thought, no, it's meant to be really structured. But like you said a little earlier about pivoting, evolving, changing, a lot of entrepreneurship, there's sales and stuff, and then also there is the kind of, okay, ups and downs are going to happen. Things are going to come at you. That it's going to happen. We had COVID. We had the shutdown last year for a while. That was, hi baby. I love when little doggies.
There he is.
Hi baby. Hi baby.
That's Pip.
What is he barking at? What's over there?
My husband's coming and going out of the back door. He couldn't hear him.
I just plopped down. I was like,
yeah.
I love animals. But that's the thing I want to ask you about too, because last year, how was it for you in your neck of the woods? In LA, everything shut down for like 4 or 5 months.
Well, I'm in North Carolina, same thing. And I had, distinct groups of people. Now, fortunately for me, I had been doing online and virtual for quite a while before. So I didn't have to scramble to figure out Zoom, lighting, sound, microphone. I had those things in place. There's always room for improvement. So when I heard somebody coming through loud and clear, and again, LinkedIn networking is everything. I can contact you and say, hey, James, what microphone are you using?
Yeah, no, seriously, yeah.
Yeah. So things like that were really great, but I'll tell you, so coaching kind of stayed steady, not as steady as I'd like it, because people were worried about their finances, right? And a big chunk of my business is new organizers, but here's what happened. People in other industries, like cleaning related industries, came to me and said, hey, I own a cleaning company. I'm still cleaning these offices, not as often. What would it take to get into organizing? So that turned into a really nice little side hustle for me, right?
Okay.
The other thing that I had going in my favor, again, grateful, gratitude, gratitude. I mean, not gratuity. Gratuity is a tip. 20%, James. Leave me 20%.
Yeah, right, exactly. Two different things, folks. Different things.
Two different things. Is the wardrobe wisdom. People were home all day and they decided, let's get my act together in my wardrobe. It was a beautiful thing. So that was very, very nice. My wardrobing business sort of exploded. That was nice.
But I want to ask you, I want to even go deeper in that a second. Why do you think you're able to pivot like that? Why were you able to lean into that more? Why do you feel like you're open to that? Because you're like me, I changed things too. And I was like, okay, well, my life coaching business got bigger last year than the actual physical organizing. Like, why do you think you're able to kind of ride the waves?
Networking.
Okay.
I think a lot of people feel like they knew me sort of superficially from Twitter, from LinkedIn, from public speaking, from being on TV, right? I did 5 seasons of Hoarders.
Right.
So people felt like the advantage of having a podcast or being featured on TV or any of that stuff, or even blogging on a regular basis, which I have done for years since, people feel like they know you a little bit. And when they feel like they know you, even if I'm not the right fit, like I did have several people call and say, hey, I'd like to learn more, like, buy a franchise, sell a franchise. I'm like, you're out of my wheelhouse. Let me refer you to somebody who can. But I think networking is a big part of it. And I think having these silos that are just a little differentiated was extremely helpful. So I've always loved wardrobing. I've always loved playing in people's clothes and closets and kind of talking that kind of stuff. That was really helpful during a time like this. And, everybody on Zoom was like, holy cow, how do I do this? How do I set up a background? How do I look like I don't have bags under my eyes? I'm like, I can help you. Here's what you need. Ding, ding, ding. Let's go. So we practiced, we set up, put a plant behind your left shoulder. It was really kind of a fun, and talk about rewarding. That was really rewarding.
Oh, yeah. You're giving back. No, it's very true. You become the go-to person. You become a person to go, it's like, oh, I think I know this chick. Okay, let me, and I'm being funny when I say chick, but the thing is that they're thinking, because a lot of people don't want to think too hard. We always say it's like the two
top of mind.
Top of mind. That's exactly what it is. It's like, oh, this one comes to mind right away. And you won't be that person that comes to mind right away. You want to, whether you're a fit or not, because I've referred people to other people too. I have no shame in saying that's not my specialty. I know somebody who is. I can pass them. I have no problem passing on the wealth. But it's just funny. I'm in Hollywood. I'm kind of the organizer. Who kind of, they just know who, I talk about it a lot. So they go, James Lott Jr. That's like, he's an organizer. And they come to me, and if I can help them, I can. If I can, I pass them on. But it's kind of like, you want to be that person they come to at least, and go and recognize you as a leader in that type of thing.
If you'll allow me to say this about you, I'm not trying to hijack your show, but
please go ahead, please.
You don't care.
You do whatever you want. It's Geralin. You do what you want.
I think because we listen to you and we see you laughing, I mean, you come across as somebody who's pretty open-minded, which I think is super important. Super organizer, super important. Also, it's so intimidating to call a stranger and say, I need help with my wardrobe. My house is a mess. My closet, my kids, my paperwork. You are approachable, James. I mean, the first time I laid eyes on you, and I joke about, us duking it out for audiences. Yeah. I mean, did we not hug? There are a zillion pictures of us, like big old hug, laughing.
Yes, we did.
You are so approachable. And I think that makes a difference for people. Like, I would say, James, I feel like I'm so embarrassed about my mess here, but I feel like I trust you to come in and not blab it, not make fun of me, so yay for you.
Yeah, it's like when I first started out, I realized, it's one thing I realized, and maybe organizing realizes too, I'm the product.
Yes, you're your own brand. See, that's part of branding.
Right. And so I had to step into it and realize that that's what it is. So that affected my how I sell, how I market, that you're getting me and whatever that is for you. And I realized that's what it is. And I tell some organizers, sometimes that's the key, right? So they're going, I want the James Lott Jr. feeling. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, oh, I want the Geralin
Okay,
feeling.
so now we're leading into, if you don't mind.
Please, let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's just chat, right?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, I think that is part of your personal brand. You're effervescent and it's contagious. Your enthusiasm and passion is contagious. People want to be around, most people, not all people, right?
Not all people.
Right. And I say the same thing. I can be like a hummingbird. And for some people, that energy is just like,
it's too much. It's too
like
much.
they said, two squirrels in a cage. Like some people would say, just shoot me, right? Shoot me with a sedative. But
yes.
we feed off each other. We're happy.
Yeah.
And for a lot of people, that's what they need. Organizing can be fun.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, it's a solo, like boring. I can't believe anybody wants to do this for a living. But somebody like you comes along and we're like, oh my gosh, you made this so enjoyable. It's now a fun task. I get it. You're doing all the heavy lifting. I'm here having a lot of chuckles.
Yeah. Yes. And stuff's getting done. That's the most important part. Stuff's getting done.
Right.
I'm a person, my motto is small step leads to large rewards. I'm a small step person. I'm a, just getting started. I know you talk about it on your website, the start. Sometimes that's the hardest part.
The art of the start, baby. The art of the start.
It is. And because seriously, I know a lot of people just go, I have this idea, or I see the mound, or I just don't know where to go, like where to kick it off. And right. I know you talk about that in all your practice. You talk about that.
I do. And with home organizing, and I'm not doing that anymore, right? I'm just mostly coaching and still some wardrobing. But when I started with people who, and again, I dealt with a lot of people who had mental health issues. So motivation was a big part of their challenge. And I would say, okay, here's what we're going to do. We are going to lower the temperature. So get that thermostat cranked down, my friend. We want to be chilly, not warm. I'm going to go in there and you tell me what you like and don't like to smell. And most people are like, oh, no. I'm like, no. We're going to spray grapefruit or lime or something energizing. And we're going to stand up. We're not going to sit down to do your paperwork. So I have these little things. Yeah, I have a lot of little things. And people would say, I can't believe it. This wasn't horrible. Well, of course it's not horrible. You just needed a little nudge.
Yeah. And also it's another way of thinking. It's another way of thinking. We don't know everything. And so somebody comes along, you just gave me an idea about the standing up while you're doing paper. Never thought of it before. It's just that you need somebody else to come in with a different perspective. To kind of just kind of lay it on you and you go, oh, this works for me. Okay. And it doesn't work for everybody, but for some people to go, I can connect with that. I can connect with that. This is, I never thought of it that way before. I had no reason to think of it that way before. But Geralin showed me that way. So now I got it.
Right. And sometimes they don't need me ever again after that. And sometimes people would call and say, okay, I've tried this on my own. I turned it down to 68. I took off my sweater and it's still not working. Okay, I'm going to come help you. We'll get through this together. You got a partner in crime, right? And I'm thinking, you and Melissa, right, with your Backstreet Boys and you got your boy band, you could do a playlist, motivating music.
Yes, we could. I should do that. Yeah. I mean, but the thing is, it's just that you have to. I don't know. Again, we like what we do, so I think that's a big.
Love what we do. We love it.
I love it. I know. I love it. I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine doing anything else right now, so to speak. I mean, I just think, and I think also being older, I did the jobs I didn't want to do. I did what I had to do to make it to the next step. So now I get to actually enjoy my employment. Like I never thought ever in my life that was going to be part of the plan, that I would actually enjoy the work.
One other thing that I think is important for people who've been doing this a while is we also get, if I'm not a good fit for that client, if you're not a good fit, we're sensing that, right? Like you're wise enough to use your intuition to say, I don't think I'm making it happen for you. I'm going to put you in touch with a colleague who's probably a better fit for you. People are grateful. The colleague is grateful. And aren't we relieved? Like I'm thinking, ever want somebody to think, oh, she's a drag to work with. Wow. Or she's too hyper, or she's too something or other, right?
Yeah.
So we always, and I think this is a characteristic of organizers in general. We are nurturing people. We want the best for our clients. I can say that. I can't think of a single organizer that is true.
Same here. Now I want to ask you about something else that you and I are have been blessed to have been a part of, and that's television.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, we both have done it, and
Yep.
and my latest thing, of course, was being on Jimmy Kimmel Live, which changed my life. I was a professional organizer, and that changed everything. It just changed my whole entire life. But you were on TV for several seasons of a show.
Yep.
So my one question I want to ask you is, what is one thing? Because I love talking to people who've been on TV. I love organizers who've been on TV because it's such a different experience than just because like I had like Dorothy the organizer, you, a few others. I mean, I just love all you guys. Okay, Matt Pax, everybody. Okay, so what is one thing that you've learned since having been on television for like seasons of a show that you just learned about yourself or something, about your organizing? I mean, what was one thing you've learned?
A loaded question.
Because you not know behind the scenes stuff of production. I was curious about yourself just in terms for you, because now it means thousands, they're all watching you. I mean, they're just, this is something that's in perpetuity. It's out there forever. It's not going away.
A couple really big things. So first of all, because you're on TV, people assume you know what you're doing a lot more than you do. I'll say that. So
Yes.
you're an automatic shoe-in, and
Yes.
you can charge more for your speaking.
Yes, you can.
Right?
Yes,
I mean, I don't know that anybody's ever said that, but it's the truth.
It's just true. It's just true. It's just true.
People no longer contact you and say, hey, will you work for free? Or would you work for product? Like, there's no way in Hades.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? I mean, if you came to me and said, I have no budget and can you help me out? That would be a lot more honest, direct approach. I'd be okay. And I do occasionally do some pro bono work for
you too.
Yep. Okay. But I would say the thing that my biggest takeaway is, and I say this any opportunity I can, is again, back to networking. My NAPO peeps pulled it out for me. And they did all the work while I'm on camera looking all, life is great. I'm dealing with the executive producer, the sound guy, that, client on air, but they're doing the grunt work. They did it all. And they were wonderful at following instructions and making me look good. And I think, how else would you find that without this network in place? So that's my biggest takeaway, is my warmest memories of like traveling places and having people say, come have dinner at my house, or let's have dinner with the group. Or here's a crazy story. I arrived in Memphis, Tennessee for a shoot, and I forgot to pack any makeup. There's nothing natural about this natural. Let's just put it out there, James.
Yes.
So I called one of the organizers that was going to be on the team, and I said, hey, and she doesn't know me from Adam's house cat. I mean, she did not know anything. I said, okay, we're about to meet like in an hour and a half, and guess who forgot to fly? And doesn't that make you sound like a diva? Like, oh, I forgot my makeup.
Yeah, right.
Okay. So she says, fear not, what do you need? I'm like, soup to nuts list.
Yes.
She shows up with this bag, puts it down. I pay her. And I'm like, I really appreciate that. Cause another one, she found out my dad had Alzheimer's. My dad loved mincemeat over the Christmas holidays. She gives me her family's mincemeat holiday. I mean, I can tell you story after story after story all over the country about fellow organizers that were warm, embracing, worked their tails off for me.
Yeah,
that's my takeaway.
Well, I'll tell you, NAPO has been, I've had 7 presidents on the show.
You have?
Over the year. And each of them have been so continually supportive. Anything personal life happened, that like my brother died or my girl, they called, are you okay? People from NAPO will call, are you okay, James? When I was going through, when we had this, I call it civil unrest last year. And and I was getting a lot of flack. I was getting attacked. And a lot of the organizers were like, James, you're doing great. Don't worry about it. You're good. I mean, it's like, I didn't expect that from the organization. Like, they would actually call my phone, like my phone. They called my phone, not a text, not an email. Or like, right. James, are you okay? Do you need anything? Are you fine? And I was just like, wow, this is amazing. And that's been one of my takeaways with NAPO over the last 7, 8, 10, 12 years. I've been out here doing this stuff. But like the last few years, they've shown up. You're right. They show up. They go,
they show up, they roll up their sleeves, they're there for you, and they make you look good. The other thing is, you know this, when you're giving a presentation, I mean, not everything goes right.
Not always, you're right, not always, yes.
Right. But you can tell the people in the audience who are organizers are there for you. They want you to succeed. They're like helping you out if you forget something. You know, yes. I will go on and on. I have a lot of really great friends that I've made. And I think, look at you and me, right? We didn't know each other. We crossed paths. We are speaking opposite each other. And look at us now.
I know, all these years, I know. Now that it is something. I always tell people, because I know that the statistic is, especially when it comes to you speaking live, people rather are more afraid of that than death. And there's always that thing to go out there and
everyone except you and I, right?
Except for us. I talk anywhere. You just tell me show up, I will talk about anything. I mean, here's something funny for you. So before the pandemic, I came up with this this kind of self-care organizing workshop that could be applied to any industry. I wanted to try it out. So I got called to do in Savannah, Georgia, which I love Savannah. I loved it so much. I did not want to leave. I did it to, make sure you get this correctly, the National Association of Perinatal Social Workers.
Okay.
So I used to be a nurse, and so I know what perinatal is. I know what that part is. But I spoke about self-care and organization for the perinatal social worker. Went very well. Then someone saw me there, and I ended up doing a presentation here in LA for the Culver City Garden Club. How organizing your garden, how gardening can actually save your life. I did a presentation on that. So I'm like, I can go anywhere. I was like, I'll talk about anything. Right. You tell me what you need to do. I get out there. But folks would just say, I'm just so nervous talking public. And I go, but the audience usually is rooting for you. You said that. The audience is usually rooting for you. They don't want, you're the expert. They don't want you to fail. They're here for you. They're here to learn something.
And I think if you've had conversations, meaningful conversations with people, you know your why, right? Like, I know that's kind of such a cliche thing.
I know. Like
okay. But the audience wants, we know this, they want some takeaway tips. They want doable action items. Do not explain your theory and all this other stuff without giving them concrete tips.
Yes.
And tell them why it's important that they do these things, right? Exactly. Like with the wardrobing, like, why is it important? Well, it can save you money. You're going to look good. You're not going to have shame, like blah, blah, blah. But I agree. Yeah.
That's all it is. But in general, they're looking, they want you to succeed, not fail. They're not against you. They wouldn't have shown up if they were against you. They would, you know what I mean? Like they're there.
Nobody's there to heckle the speaker.
No, not at all. They want to see what's going on. They want to see what you're talking about, and like you said, and what can they walk away with and go, I left with 2 tips. And you can talk about, even if you do just 1 tip, they do just 1 tip, you've won, right? And that's the whole point.
Right. And did I ever tell you my big fail during public speaking? My biggest fail ever. Okay, this is good, and you'll love this. I was speaking at a buttoned up bankers thing at a golf resort weekend. Got the idea who's there?
Yes, I do.
Not a bunch of crazy ladies like me, or a bunch of guys like you.
Yeah, no.
So I was part of their work-life balance thing, and they were paying me a nice amount of money.
Yes.
I went out, I did my thing. I could feel I was bombing. Like the energy in the room was just,
I hate that.
Yeah, it was. I had like 2 rows in the front of maybe 10 women who were like eating it up. So I thought, focus. But I could feel like my neck was getting red. You know, it was horrible. And The thing that I learned after that, and this is, I tell anybody who will listen to me that I don't coach public speaking, is I followed a Saturday Night Live writer who tore the house down, brought everybody down. They were laughing, stomping, clapping, waving. This is a bunch of wound type people, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
And he had them laughing and throwing stuff in the air. I mean, he was crazy good, but it taught me a lesson. Like, I can't follow that guy. I know, but biggest lesson of all is people not only want some takeaway tips on what to do, they want to be entertained a little. So don't be scared to let your hair down and have fun with your audience.
I agree with that. No, I say it all the time. People have many choices. People have other things they do. I mean, like, so why should they listen to you? I always say, that's always my why. Why should they listen to me? Well, what is it about me that they should sit there and give their time to? I mean, why should they focus on me? And then my end is like, give them everything. Give them who you are. Give them what you got. And
well, I'm dying to know. Can you? No, I showed you mine. You have to show me yours. Like, did you ever bomb speaking?
Oh, girl, yeah. Okay, I had one. Okay, I had one. It's something I've learned.
Okay.
Because some of these conferences, the night before or in the evenings, let's go for dinner and drinks. And so James Lott Jr. was just like, isn't this so much fun? And because again, so when you're with like-minded people, I know Geralin understands this, you feel a natural high already.
Okay.
You're already feeling a natural, like, we can talk about this industry, we're talking about it when he's having a good time, but we're just like knocking back the wine, and it's cheaper wines, get line, who cares? And one of the mistakes I made was that I had so much wine. I went to bed so late.
Okay.
I went to bed like at 2 a.m. I had to be up at 6. Just to
got your A game after that. Yeah.
No, and so when I got in front of there, and I had my presentation, my PowerPoint and stuff, there were a couple times I drifted while in front of people. I think the crowd was like 80 or 90, so it was a nice sized crowd, and I completely a couple times was like, and one mistake I took all the time: don't apologize. What I mean by that is I did this thing where I was like, I'm so sorry, I'm incompetent today. Never say that.
Right.
Never down talk yourself. If you think it's a joke or self-deprecating, that's not it. I'm sorry, I'm just not that smart. I'm pretty or whatever. Like sometimes it's funny, but sometimes it's not good when you're bombing.
And it feeds the message in your own head.
Yes. So I was getting worse and worse. And I remember looking at the clock going, it's still 7:30. I go 7:30 ago. I mean, like, I'm just like, look at the clock, like, this is going, it's like tick, tick, tick. I was like, oh, I have another 40 minutes of this presentation. So I had a few cuss words for myself, but I was doing a whole bunch of supply. I'm so sorry. I mean, I guess it's just scatterbrained today. Like I learned you should never really do that. Now, if you're joking, having a good time, and you're not bombing,
right?
Story, because sometimes things happen, a glitch will happen here and there, a power go out for a second, a slide will move, whatever. That's fine. You can play that off. That's when jokes come in.
But thank you for sharing that, because every speaker has had a moment where they could just crawl away under the stage, right?
I want to say, you guys, thanks for coming. I'm gonna grab my purse. I gotta go. And I wanted to leave. I mean, I was so. If I could have got redder and rushed, I get back my first getting redder and redder, and they're all staring at me like, who the F is this? Like,
well, not only that, no one is more disappointed than you are in yourself. That's the thing. You just beat yourself up. I remember thinking to myself all the way home, driving home. I mean, I was so mean to myself. Like
me too. I was like, I had a great presentation. Like it was great. It was. I kept telling myself it was right there on the screen. Like it was right there.
You wrote it. You rehearsed it.
I did, exactly. Exactly. Like it was there. It was ready to go. I had done it before. It was great somewhere else. But I feel like one of those comedians. I feel like it just kept the hits kept on coming. I was just like, wow. And the time was so slow. It just went, I'm gonna be here for the rest of my life. I'm gonna be up here for the rest of my life. I was gonna feel worse than I can. And I got off the stage. I said, thank you. They clapped politely. They clapped politely, but it wasn't that clap like you get when you know you did a good job.
Right.
Like
Hi, Felicia.
Bye. And I was like, I will be seeing you guys next time, I guess. I was not asked back, but I totally understand. But I had to realize the other takeaway for me was to balance the evening at the conference plus
Right.
I had no problem saying, I got cut in early. I'll have a glass of wine. I'm fine. Like I've learned how to do that now because I'm like, I'm actually here for work. I'm here for a reason. Yes, we're here to network and have a good time too, but I'm also here to actually work.
Yes.
Now I may be different if my presentation is done. I'm still there for a couple of days, then that's different. But if I have several presentations going, I can't be imbibing like I would want to.
Live and learn. You'll never do that again, right?
Right. Oh no! Oh,
and that was my lesson. I thought I will always ask who's coming on before me, and like, is there a transitional period? There was no transition. It was him, then me. I'm like, oh my gosh, that was the kiss of death for me. I felt horrible.
Well, I can talk to you forever. You have to come back on. You just have to come back on. I mean, you're a friend of the show. You have to come back on anytime. But thank you for your time, Geralin. You are a treasure.
James, thank you. And I am about nuts over you, right?
It is mutual. It's very mutual. Now tell folks where they can find you, your coaching business, everything. This is your chance to promote.
Okay, if y'all like what I'm saying and you're interested in learning more, you can find me on YouTube, Geralin Thomas, and there I have a little Ask Me Anything series where organizers send me questions via email and I answer them. I'm on LinkedIn doing kind of, just businessy stuff. I'm on Twitter, just chit chatting, having fun with colleagues and whatever. I've got a whole bunch of lists and I blog once a month about organizing usually. And it's either starting an organizing business, growing your organizing business, or decluttering and organizing your home. And that website is metropolitanorganizing.com.
And I have all those in the links below in the description, so you can actually just go to them and check her out. Subscribe to her channel. Do it, because I told you to. Do it because I told you to. You're not doing it already.
Thank you, sweet baby James. What a treat to spend time with you. Seriously, it's nice to see you, and you are like a ray of sunshine wherever you go.
Well, thank you for the kind words. And everybody out there, this is the SOS show with James Lott Jr. Follow us on any streaming platform service. That's iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google, Apple. We are there. Hit that follow button. Listen to us while you're in the car, walking the dog, taking the kids to school, whatever. Take a listen. I have some great organizers are on the show. Talk about all kinds of things. So check us out there. Then, of course, check out my network, which is JLJ Media. I have over 35 shows, ranging from, like she said, soaps to Star Wars to Hallmark Channel and everything in between. So check those out, JLJ Media on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. It's down here somewhere. I always point the wrong spot. But it's a red button. It's red and it's rectangular. And it says subscribe in it. So hit that, subscribe, hit the little bell to get notifications. I have all kinds of goodies. And check that out also. Support someone who's trying to create a universe of positivity and fun and inclusiveness. That's what I try to do on JLJ Media. And of course, you can follow me. We're all James Lott Jr. is sold at James Lott Jr. on all social media platforms. Of course, I'm on TikTok. I'm a TikTok star. You check me out there too. I give tips on organizing on there too. And of course, I'm on LinkedIn also. You want to check out LinkedIn? I post things all there too. But I am here because we heard the call. That's where the SOS comes from. And everyone, please take care of each other, take care of yourselves, have compassion, and take judgment out of your lives. And we'll see you next time.